how many of us attempted the assignment that Mwalimu left in our last class? Haya.
Mwalimu, I attempted.
You attempted the question?
Yes.
Preparing the dashboard as well, right?
Yes.
So let us see the rest. The rest, I'm not sure if you guys made an attempt on that. It is always good at least to make an attempt, because like the moment you do make an attempt, that is when the concept will always be very easy. The question was, I'm not sure, kindly you can confirm if this was a question. I think these are what you're supposed to do, right? I believe this was the question, right? Amos, was this a question where I told you to prepare these cells, the quarterly, monthly, and daily using pivot? Was this a question?
No, that was not the question, Mwalimu.
The question was which one?
It was about we were using some if lesson 2, the Excel worksheet. I think you are on that one, right?
Yeah.
And then now we were supposed to prepare using pivot tables. We were supposed to prepare cells by the reps and the items and also the regions. You also said that for the reps, we arrange in ascending order.
But that one we did. That one you didn't handle last time.
I might be mistaken, but I think that's what.
Did we do this using pivot table?
Which one?
This question that I've displayed. Yeah. Did you use pivot table in handling this question?
I think we did it, but maybe the rest can also confirm.
Yeah, kindly the rest let us confirm which. Because I remember these are what I told you guys to handle. Where basically, I'm not sure if I did this, but I remember this. If at all I'm not, where did you prepare the dashboard using this question? Really? We didn't prepare dashboard on this question, right?
No.
Because I think, I think this is what I mentioned. Like, we should prepare dashboard.
We didn't.
Great. So let's just. Great.
Supposed to be part of the assignment.
That was part of the assignment, right? So then let us try to do this very quickly, so that at least today's class, I want us to look at that key area that you're talking about, the concept of VLOOKUP. I'm very sure that it will be a very interesting class for VLOOKUP. So for now, let us do this just quickly for us to have a very clear understanding on the same. So of course, if at all we give them, that will be like a form of revision on our end. So the main case is just for us to be able to understand the concept very well. So these are what you're doing. Just a moment here. Here it is. I don't know, by now all of us, you do have access to the past papers in terms of what you shared. That is of course the aspect to do with Excel workbooks. So looking at this question very quickly, the same task that we did earlier on are the same tasks that I want us to use, but this time round now using a pivot table. So like on this case, I want us to prepare, these are our tasks, right? These are our tasks. Of course, we want to prepare to the last bit plus the dashboards, of course. So these are tasks. Number one, we need to prepare our summary, or rather talk about daily sales summary, daily sales summary, yeah. Talk about daily sales summary. Number two, we can prepare the monthly sales summary, monthly sales summary, monthly sales summary. The other point you're having the quarterly sales summary, about quarterly sales summary. You see? So in this case, whatever that I want us to do is to use of course, our pivot table. I want us to prepare these summaries using our pivot table. Of course, we can prepare the last bit, which is our dashboard, all using a pivot table, So the first thing that we said that anytime you have to do this, of course, we must always separate our title with the details that you're having. That's the first thing that you must always tend to do. So separating our title with the details that we'll be having. So the next step, of course, to do is to make sure that we select anywhere within our table. After that, we come to insert, right? We come, of course, to insert. What we want to do is to insert our pivot table from our table range, So in this case, of course, I want to create it on a new sheet. So I'll just do OK on a new sheet. So you'll find that automatically it will give us our dialog box here in terms of the pivot table fields. So what I want to do, number one, we've agreed, we want to solve our daily sales summary. So our daily sales summary, what we'll be doing very quickly here, we come to our day, right? It will give us the days for the period. We want the sales, so just select our sales at this point. You'll find that it will give us the sales for the said period as well. So once we have this, remember we mentioned that, of course, our task should also be kind of neat. So I need to replace our role labels, replacing it so that it should indicate the days. We said that the process there is quite simple. Why? All you need to do is to come to our design here. We come to report layout. Then we come to our tabular form. I think that was very clear. That's what we said. I believe what you're doing here, you're just kind of repeating what we did. But if you're having a question, make sure you raise it up. So in this case, I'm going to rename this as our daily sales. See, it has taken us like a few clicks for us to come up with this summary. The same case, as per our task, will also be required to prepare our monthly sales summary. So that will be easy. Why? All I need to do is to copy this sheet by right-clicking on that. We come and do move or copy. I want to copy my daily sales sheet. So I want to create a copy. So you just do create a copy. You you'll find this will be our copy number, copy 2. But this time round, I'm going to rename this to be what? Our monthly cells. So this is our monthly cells. We're having our monthly cells. Monthly cells. The same case I can do with our quarterly cells. So I can just copy this again before anything else, so that once we work it out, it will just be easy. We copy, that is, we create a copy of our monthly cells. You can create a copy there. So this, as per our task, this will be what? Our quarterly cells. Quarterly cells. So once I have that, once I have the details, you'll find that it just, with a few clicks, I'll be having the results. So for monthly cells, what are we going to do? We want to replace the days with month. So all I'm going to do, I'm going to uncheck our days. I check our months. See, I'm having the results there automatically with few clicks. The same case in our quarterly cells. We are going to uncheck the daily. I place with the quarterly cells. With few clicks, voila, I'm having what? I'm having my details here. We're having our details. With few clicks, we're having our details. So already, that is to say, with the few clicks that we've done, already we've accomplished task 1, task 2, and task 3. With a few clicks, we've already done the summary in terms of daily cells, the summary in terms of monthly cells, and the summary in terms of the quarterly cells, with a few clicks that we have done. So the next thing is for us to prepare our dashboard. Remember, for us to present our data in the dashboard, then we should be having graphical representation. We should be having the graphical representation of our source data. So how will we go about it? We go to our first task, which is, of course, our daily cells. For daily cells, I want us to insert a graph. And in this case, whatever that we'll be looking at is a pivot graph. So all we need to do, we click anywhere within our tab, that is within our set. Then we come to insert. In this case, we come to what? Pivot chart. So I select my pivot chart. So at this point, you realize that selecting our pivot chart, then these are our options. These are our options. We select whatever that it will fit, whatever that I'll see that it deems fit with our presentation. So at this point, for me, I can select like my bar chart. Probably you can select your chart, the one that you feel it is pleasing in your eyes. For me, in this case, I'm going to select that chart. Then, of course, I'll do OK. So you'll find that my presentation here, it will display the details that you're having there. It will display our details there. It will display our details. Suppose I need to format this further. All I'll do is to click our bars. Then we right click. In this case, I want to make sure that the width of the data that you're having, at least it is much visible, right? So all we are going to do here is to simply come to our format data series. Format data series. In our gap width here, we can reduce up to the place that you'll seem that it is fit on your presentation. Maybe mine is 53. if I'm satisfied with the kind of with this presentation of these bars, then the next thing that I'll be required, of course, to do here is to simply, if I want to change probably the color of our bars, right? Simply for presentation. Again, I right click. On fill, I can come and select any color of my choice. For example, that one. See? You can select any color of your choice. Amos, what is your color?
I have maintained the blue, the one that the default blue.
Red. You're Arsenal fan wewe. Si ndio Amos? When come we select red?
No comments.
So at this point, we name, of course, our chart. Sorry for that. We say that on this case, renaming this chart or giving this chart a name, we can give it daily sales. Talk about daily sales summary. Daily sales summary, right? So looking at our daily sales summary, all I can do again, because it is purely for presentation, I can decide that, you know what, let us remove all this, plus maybe that, so that I have it in plain this manner. So the next thing is to simply add our data labels. Remember, Mwalimu taught us how to add data labels. To add data labels, we simply right-click on the bars, we come add data labels. I can decide to add our data labels at that point, or you can decide to add your callouts so that it will simply indicate the value of each bar that we are having. So once we are through that, we can come to our monthly sales. Our monthly sales, you can decide to select another graph that you think will be suitable in your eyes for presentation. So again, we come and of course, insert our pivot chart. So now it is upon you to select which will basically be pleasing to your eyes. Maybe I can select my bar instead of column. I can pick my bar. So if this is pleasing to my eyes, then I'm going to pick this one. And there's something that we learned last time. If at all you can check our presentation, comparing it, if at all you can check our presentation, comparing our presentation to our data here. Are they in line? Alan, check your presentation graphical and your data here. Are they in line? Alan, is your data in line?
No, it's not in line.
It's not in line, right? So all you'll be required to do is to do what? Is to make sure that I am presenting them in line. So how are we going to present them in line? You come to your where you need to present them. You'll find that in our column here, it is running from January to December, but in our data here, it is running from December to January. So all I need to do is to make sure that I am presenting them in line. So to present them in line, all that will be required to do simply is to come and click the data that we want them to be in line. And this is only right click. Then we come to format axis. I need to do what? You'll find that this data will appear. See this one here? All I need to do is to make sure that I need them in categories in reverse order. So you just click categories in reverse order. You'll find that it is going to reverse my set data here so that it will start from January all through to December. It's going to start from January all through to December. So in that case, that is to say, I don't need this bit here, so I can remove the values there for presentation purposes. For presentation purposes, I can literally remove my data at that point. After we are through with that, I want to increase our axis, right? So in this case, we come format data series. I need to increase my bars. Then I reduce my gap with the same case as we've done with the other one. So I just reduce my gap with maybe up to that point. Probably this color is not pleasing to my eyes. So if this color is not pleasing to my eyes, how will we go about it? Yes,
Mwalimu.
question kindly. Yes, please.
Sorry for that. I think.
Yes, Alan. Alan, I'm not getting you. Anyone is getting Alan? Diana, are you getting Alan?
We can't get Alan, Mwalimu.
Alan, kindly check your net. Amia, we're not getting you. Kindly check. I'm not sure which question you wanted to ask. Okay. So Alan, kindly check your net, please. So again, we say that at this point, we can decide to pick our favorite color by clicking on the bar. After we have clicked on the bar, the next thing that maybe I'll wish to do is to simply right-click and click Fill. Probably at this point, because maybe I love this blue color, I can pick that color so that at least my graph is taking shape. Then I'll wish to add, right? I'll wish to add our data labels. So by adding our data labels, this will be simple. We right-click, then we come and add data labels here. So I need to add my data labels so that on each and every month, you'll find that it will indicating the value that is being represented. It will indicate the value that is being represented. It will indicate the value that is being represented. So again, we can format this chart and have it as our monthly sales summary. Monthly sales.
Mwalimu,
Yes, kindly.
can you repeat where you want to reduce the gap?
Or to reduce the gap?
Yeah.
Sure, that is okay. So you see on the bar here, you click any bar that you are having, okay?
Yeah.
Then you right-click, okay?
Yes.
Then on right-clicking, are you seeing this format data series here?
Yeah.
Format data series.
Yes.
Then if you click format data series, you'll find that this option will appear. Are you seeing this option on your end?
It's kind of option.
Format data series here, these options, the one that are appearing here, the one that I'm showing with my cursor.
Okay.
Are you seeing it?
Yeah.
So now we have gap width. Are you seeing how we're having gap width here?
Yes.
So on the gap width, reduce it. Like if it was there, you just come and do what? Reduce it up to where you'll find that it is fit on your eyes. Just reduce the gap width.
Okay.
Are you achieving the output?
Yeah. I've
Great.
achieved.
Okay, great. So once we have that, then our presentation at this point, it will be complete up to that point in that sense. So these are what you're having. So the next thing that I want to achieve is presenting our quarterly sales in terms of graphical representation. So on this, how will we go about it? The same task will apply. All I'll need to do is to come on this point. I want to add my chart, so I'll come and insert pivot chart. Probably this time I'll wish to select my pie chart. Selecting a pie chart, maybe I'll feel like the donut chart is more appropriate on this case. My donut pie chart, where in this case, we're having quarterly sales. Quarterly sales. Quarterly sales. So on this case, maybe I need to format this more for it to be much clearer. So I click on the donut chart, right click. On this case, you can select any of your chart. It doesn't necessarily need to be a donut. You can select any of your chart, the one that is pleasing to your eyes. So for that case, I'll come to format data series here. Then I'll wish to reduce my donut hole size. Reduce my donut hole size. It is called donut because it's the shape of a donut. Then for more presentation purposes, I can add my callouts. This is just for more presentation purposes. We can add our callouts. If at all I'm having my callouts, then no need for this. I can literally remove that bit. So these are what you're having as our presentation for the quarter sales. These are presentation for the quarterly sales. After we are done with this, the next step, of course, will be to prepare our dashboard. The next step here will be to prepare our dashboard. So dashboard will be easy. We come open a new sheet. We rename this sheet as our what? As our dashboard. So rename this sheet as our dashboard.
I have a question.
Kindly.
When inputting the columns, I saw the percentages and I didn't see how the percentages came about.
On this chart, on the pie chart.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
On the pie chart, we've said you just add your call out. If you add the call out, because it is on pie, it will give us in form of that percentage. You see, like you come and of course, after you click that, so because I've added it, will just require me to format. You see, there are options here. There are options on your case. Assuming, let us do it from scratch. Assuming we didn't have the call outs, right? So being plain like this, all you can do is, first of all, we click on our donut, then we right click. On this case, you'll find that I'm having the data labels. So we come to our data labels. I'll be required to add our callouts. If you click our callouts, automatically it will give us in form of percentages. Hilary, are we on the same page?
Yes, we are.
Great. So if at all, automatically it will give us in our percentage. If at all we want to change, then we can literally format it. Like you come format data labels. Now, what do you want to be? Is it in values? If at all I want it in value, then my values will appear. In this case, initially my default was percentage. Default will appear. See? So it's upon us to simply select what we want, if at all it is in percentage, or if at all it is in value. Ila, are we on the same page?
Yes, we are.
Great. So this is simply our presentation. So you've said that the next step at this point, I'll wish to present my data in form of dashboard. I'll want to have our dashboard presentation. So having our dashboard presentation, then this will be quite straight. Why? All we will be required to do is this. On our dashboard, first of all, I'll wish to highlight this to be in a very new format of my choice. By highlighting, you see on the top left corner here, this arrow which is appearing. So I just click that, it will highlight the whole sheet. After highlighting the whole sheet, I'll need to maybe select the color. You select the color of your choice, how you wish your dashboard to be. For mine, maybe I'll select this light gray. It will change my whole sheet. The next step that will be required to do here is to simply come and consider our graphs, the one that we had created earlier on. So I just copy. You copy to your dashboard here. You come copy to your dashboard here. All that you're doing is just a matter of what? Copy pasting. We come paste it there. All you are doing is just copy pasting for presentation purposes. Then maybe I can pick the last one, which was this. I have it maybe somewhere here. This is purely for presentation. So ideally, as it is, this is our dashboard. So I'll want to make it more interesting. And in this case, maybe I'll wish to automate, right? I'll wish to automate my data here. I'll wish to automate our data here. So automating our data, this will be very easy. How will you go about it? You click anywhere within your graph, within any graph. You come and put our insert. You come on insert button here. You click slicer. On slicer, you'll find that the details of what I want to present, they will appear here. So I want the details in terms of days, month, and probably quarter. Then we do what? We do OK. So these slices of hours will appear here. These slices of hours will appear here. Make sure that you are achieving the same results. The slices will appear at this point. Because these are 4, maybe I'll wish to put it in terms of a column. So on the quarter, it is purely, this is now presentation, which purely depends with how you want your set to be. On my end, I'll feel like quarter should be in aspect of row wise. So in that case, if at all you can see here in our column, I want to have how many columns? 4 columns, because I'm having 4 quarters. So I just increase my columns. See, on increasing my columns, it will give us now presentation. Our presentation will be in this form. Our presentation will be in this form, columnar. So that all I'll do is to simply maybe increase it to this font. This is just for presentation purposes and your creativity. So you just have maybe like that. So for us to automate this data, of hours, all we will need to do is to simply, on our slicers, we right-click. On right-clicking, we come and report our connections. So I want to report my connection for pivot monthly, pivot quarterly. I go to another slicer that you have created. We right-click, we report connections. Same procedure applies to all the slicers that we've created. The last slicer here, right-click, we report connections. I check our slicers. Same thing will appear, or same procedure we're going to do. So once I have reported our slicers, that is to say, we have connected all this data that I'm having. So that if in this case, maybe I want the results for quarter 1. Now you're doing your presentation. You want your results for quarter 1. How will you go about it? If you click quarter 1 here, you'll find that it will change everything at once. Whereby for quarter 1, I'm going to get it for the month of January, February, March. That is our quarter 1. And for this quarter, if I check on Sundays, these were our total sales. Monday, this was our total sales. Tuesday, this was our total sales up to Saturday. You see? Presenting our data, and we are presenting it in a very automated case. If at all I want quarter 2, I clear my filter, I come to quarter 2. It will change automatically the whole set. So for quarter 2, it will display April, May, June, the data that you are having, and our presentation will appear in that case. You see? In this case, probably I want for, say, the month of March only. If I click the month of March, you see, the results will give us what we want. March is in quarter 1, and in quarter 1, the total that we had in March was 7,100. These were the sales from Monday and the sales from Friday. The sales from Monday and the sales from Friday. We're having our data there. Maybe I want to add, say, August. For August, you'll find that again, it will give us August, we made our sales all through the days. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, only Thursday, it is the time that we didn't make any cells. And these are the results. You see, our presentation has literally been automated. Our presentation has been automated, making it very simple for presentation to a point that we can share with any other person. Compare you presenting this set of data in terms of this graphical representation and the other person who wants to present the same data in this case. You'll find that there's a very big difference. There will be a lot of difference, because the person who will be presenting this data in this form, you'll find that this is much presentable. This is much presentable. This is much presentable. And these are what we should be having. I need a question, guys, where you feel that Mwalimu should explain it further.
Mwalimu, mine?
Yes.
Earlier on during the day, I was doing some little bit of practice. And I didn't even do the graphs, or maybe the pie charts. I didn't do the bars. I just like inserted the slicers using the plain pivot tables. I had a few of them with another data set.
Okay.
So here now, for the exam purposes, I would like, maybe I want to believe that your message is that it would earn maybe a few more marks by inserting the bars and the graphs, so that it would look more attractive to an examiner and see that your work is more presentable, rather than just doing a slicer, using the slicers for only the pivots. Is that the case?
Correct. And in that case, only if the examiner has specified that you do what? You prepare the dashboard. Then you can prepare a dashboard in terms of presentation. And remember, like our case, we mentioned that the knowledge that you are learning here, again, it is not only for exams, it is also for our practice.
Thank you. Well understood, Mwalimu.
Great. So remember, like the knowledge that you are earning here, it is not only for exams, but these are things that you can also do in practice.
Mwalimu, I can't hear you.
Great. Okay. So as I was saying, like at this point, remember, like this knowledge is simply for the case of simply presenting our data. You see, and in this case, you'll find that the whole idea is that we are looking at it in a sense of doing it practically. So this is yes, kindly.
You did not answer my question. Kindly, can you illustrate the monthly sales summary?
Oh, we were not getting you earlier on, and that's why, like, yes, Alan, what was the question?
Yeah, my network had an issue. You see, the monthly sales, January, February, March. You see the arrangement. How did you arrange them so that they can appear in that format? January, February, March.
For which month? Monthly.
The pivot. Yeah. So on the month, you see this arrangement, the bar and whatever is displayed on the pivot. You see, the moment we inserted the pivot on the bar, the months were not arranged as per the way they normally follow each other. There's a way that you did, and then it appeared. The format, they follow each other now on the bar. I did not get how you go about it. Yeah.
So, like on this case, you'll find that we say that all you need to do is to highlight our data that you want to reverse. Like you highlight that bar, you see, January to December, right? Then you right click. Okay?
Yeah.
Then you come to format axis. You see format axis here?
Okay.
Click format axis. Once you have clicked your format axis, you realize that your categories in reverse order here, it is not checked, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So check that box, check that box.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Has it changed?
Yeah, it has changed. I think now gotten it. Thank you.
You achieved the results, right?
Yeah, I've achieved the results.
Great. So once you have that in mind, of course, we go to the dashboard. You're okay, right?
Yes, Mwalimu.
Okay, great.
Yes, we are good on the dashboard, Mwalimu.
Yeah, you're good with the dashboard?
Yes.
Great. So that is what we have in mind. That is what you're supposed to present. So once we have that, then of course the other item to do, that is a wrap for, of course, our presentation in terms of our dashboard. So then the next step or the next function that I'll also want us to understand is the concept of VLOOKUP. So then in this case, it should take us to the concept of VLOOKUP. 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 So let me share this. VLOOKUP. VLOOKUP.
Mwalimu, just one clarification.
Yes, kindly.
I have observed that we have made quite a number of sheets. Like maybe for the daily ones, we had a separate sheet. For the monthly, we had a separate sheet. How about I don't know how maybe we can let the examiner know that a certain number of sheets is associated to a certain question one, or how, or maybe I don't know.
Now we'll find for the case of, if at all you are to look at it for the case of exam, then you can do them within one sheet. You see, like when you come, in this case, remember, like whatever that you're doing was purely for presentation. For the case of exam, you can come and insert your pivot within your sheet here. You see, like instead of you working on a new worksheet, you come and click what? Existing worksheet, and location, you click anywhere within your set. So that if you click OK, in this case, just a moment, I need I need to insert our pivot table. And in this case, I'll want to existing worksheet, which in this case, it is I need to select my data pivot. So where do I want to present this? I want to present this in our existing worksheet. Where? On the same worksheet, anywhere within our sheet. So if at all I pick it there, you'll find that our pivot will come at this point. So all my presentation, in this case, if at all it is talk about whatever that we just done, day, I'll pick my daily sales. We pick what? Our monthly sales. That is a monthly sales, or we start with day. So we have that. Then we come to do our sales. You see, I'm going to have it within the same sheet. I'm going to have it within the same sheet. So on this case, of course, I can decide to do what? I can decide to, of course, have our show in tabular form. So we can decide to have the same data on the same sheet. See? Where on the other case, of course, you can simply pick another bit within the same. You just insert your pivot from range. I want it now to appear probably at this point here. See? You can do this within the same sheet. See? You can have your results within the same sheet. Is that okay?
Yeah, Mwalimu, I think this one is better for exam purposes.
Yeah, for exams purposes, you can just present it within the same sheet. But I wish us to focus more also on practice, not only exams, okay? For presentations as well, when it comes to the practical field, okay?
Okay.
Great. So once we have, of course, this presentation of ours, once we have this presentation of ours, then the next thing that we should be able to do is to simply talk about aspect of VLOOKUP, what Mwalimu was saying, the aspect of the lookup functions. We can talk about the lookup functions for us to be able to understand the whole bit well. So we're having a new set here. Let me present it. So we want to talk about our lookup functions. Lookup functions are very important, of course, concepts, of course, in our case. And when we are talking of the lookup functions, right? What should we always be able to understand, or what must we always be able to interpret in our mind? So you'll find, like as we had agreed earlier on, Excel is always a very powerful function, a powerful, of course, tool. And this tool will perform many tasks. This tool will always perform so many tasks. So on this case, in the event that we are looking at the lookup functions, the whole idea that we are talking about is simply for us to learn the tools that we are going to use to summarize our tasks, to summarize our tasks. And amongst them, of course, we'll be talking of VLOOKUP, there's a concept of HLOOKUP, there's a concept of XLOOKUP. All these are functions that we normally tend to use in terms of presenting our data. So in this case, in summary format, you'll find that these are simply functions, the lookup now functions, because we've said we can talk of VLOOKUP, we can talk of XLOOKUP, we can talk of HLOOKUP, but as at the end of the day, they'll always tend to perform almost the same function. And which function is this? You'll find that it helps us to find and retrieve data from specific range of tables. This is a whole work of lookup functions. The tools, Excel tools that will help us to find and retrieve data from specific range of tables. And you'll find that many a times are always very useful, more so when you're talking about what? A huge set of data. So number one function that we'll always tend to consider, maybe just to listen first. Number one, we normally tend to talk about VLOOKUP. There's always been that, of course, revolution. So we're having a VLOOKUP function. From VLOOKUP, we normally tend to talk about the HLOOKUP function. HLOOKUP function. And now we're having the combination of the two, which normally tend to talk about what? The XLOOKUP function. XLOOKUP function. So these are the main types of lookup functions that we must always tend to be aware of. the last one, which is X lookup function, you'll find that many a times we normally refer to it as the modern and an alternative of VLOOKUP and HLOOKUP, because it has literally combined the two. It has combined the HLOOKUP and the VLOOKUP. So for the purpose of class, of course, Mwalimu will guide us for the two. The X lookup, but we normally also tend to talk about the other function. So if time will allow, of course, to be looking, there are so many other functions, like this aspect known as L lookup, right? These other areas in Excel, these are purely advanced bit. Of course, we normally tend to talk about the index match. See, all these are functions, the lookup functions that we can always tend to use in Excel. We can always tend to use in Excel. See? So once we have this in mind, you'll find that our tasks will always be summarized, very, very summarized. So for the case of us applying all this, we're going to look at the first two. Of course, if time will allow through our course, we'll be looking at X and lookup plus index match and the rest. But for this case, of course, whatever that you're looking at to achieve, we understand the first two. The other three are important, and of course, we'll always and try to create time so that you can have all this. Because as Mwalimu had mentioned, that whatever that we are doing right now is simply for what? Is simply for knowledge, not only exams, but simply for knowledge, That is important. That's very important to note. So at that point, the next item that, of course, we can always do is to start with us understanding the first case of VLOOKUP. So let us understand the VLOOKUP function. VLOOKUP function. Let us start by understanding, first of all, the VLOOKUP function. So in this case, maybe we can take a break of like 5 minutes, then we resume. Mwalimu atafute maji. So we take a break of 5 minutes, then we resume to continue that. Okay, so I think that break is enough. So looking at VLOOKUP function, you'll find that this function, it is always very key. So at times we can say it is an old school function because that is what Excel started with, but also up to date, you'll find that in some quarters, it is very useful. In some quarters, it is very, very useful. So at this point, it will be important for us to understand that anytime we are looking at VLOOKUP, this is simply a function that will search for a value. These are talk about VLOOKUP. These are what you're starting with, VLOOKUP. For us to understand it on a very deeper perspective, we are saying that simply, yeah, these are function that searches for value, function that searches for value, that searches for a value, a function that, of course, searches for a value in the first column of a table array, in the first, of course, column, in the first column of a table array, right? In the first column of course, table array, and returns a value, in the same row, and returns a value in the same row, and returns a value in the same row, in the same row from a specified column, from a specified column. So maybe just to put it on a very layman's perspective, I normally love to use the example of a menu, right? I normally love to use example of a menu. If you go, of course, in any restaurant, you'll find that maybe a menu, I would have been given a menu in a sense that maybe at this point, maybe there are drinks, for example, right? Drinks, maybe you're having, say, like, if at all there are special lunch, for example, right? All these items, of course, you'll get them there. So for drinks, maybe you'll be having, say, like various drinks. Talk about maybe at this point, maybe you can talk about coffee, right? Maybe you can talk about tea, for example. Maybe you can talk about aspects of the other drinks that we know. Maybe talk about fruit juice, right? All this, maybe I'm having, though not a drink, but maybe you can have various types of shakes, see? So looking at this, then in that case, you'll find that I'm given in terms of maybe if at all I want single, maybe I want double, maybe I want medium, you see. Then, of course, the prices are listed there. So when you go to that hotel, look at it on a very practical perspective, yeah? So on a very practical perspective, of course, if you go to, or rather if at all you are checking your menu out, the first thing that will always come at the back of your mind is you'll check your drinks, your eyes will go in that manner, checking them in a columnar format, first of all, downwards, right? After you check them on a columnar form downwards like that, maybe your eyes will settle for fruit juice, right? Your eyes will settle for, at this point, maybe fruit juice. After your eyes are settled for fruit juice, what will happen again? At the same time, you'll find that your eyes will now look at the size of juices that you want to select. So that if you settle on a double, or maybe on a medium, or maybe on a whichever, maybe single, you'll find that that is what you're going to order. So whatever that you're doing here with the menu, what this is, we normally apply VLOOKUP without our knowledge. First of all, we search a value in this first column. You see, function that searches for a value in the first column of a table array. After that, it's going to return a value in the same row, this row, from a specified column, if it is double, if it is medium. See, a very layman's perspective of explaining what VLOOKUP entails on a very layman's perspective. As you're saying, you go to that restaurant, you pick your menu. From that menu, first of all, this is what always happens. Practically, your eyes will scroll in a columnar format to check what they offer. After that, now you'll check the brand or the sizes that they do offer. So from there on, you'll select one of it. In this case, you'll find that you'll be having, say, like, if it is double and you want tea, then you are selecting it. It has picked, right? In this case, you are selecting raw but from a specified column, which is double or which is medium. See, now these are now what you're referring to as what? As VLOOKUP function. The reason why we are saying that, it searches for a value in the first column of a table array, and then it returns that value in the same row from a specified column. This is now what you are looking at. Say, for example, in this case, you'll find that, again, looking at the same concept of VLOOKUP, it will have various characters. So for the purpose of us understanding, because we've started with this example, then I want us to clear with the same example. Maybe, just maybe, we're having the prices. You can select our prices randomly. For single, we can have, say, like 100. Double, maybe you can have, say, like 200. Medium, I can have, say, like 150. For tea, depending on the tea that you're having, maybe single, maybe you're talking of 200. This one, maybe already about, of course, 350. And this one, maybe already about what? Say like 250. For fruit juice, maybe single, the small glass, maybe you're talking about, say like, depending on where you are having it, maybe already about 300. Double, maybe already about 500. And this other one, maybe already about 400, medium. At this point, for shake, maybe already about 600. Double maybe is 850. Medium maybe is 700. You see? So these are what you're looking at. This is what we are looking at. These are what you're looking at. This is what you're looking at. So at this point, maybe I'm having this person of which we want to determine the price of double, and maybe I need, say, like shake. I need to determine shake. And I want to take double. See? So we need to determine shakes. And in this case, I want to select double. So you'll find that at this point, we'll have to consider our VLOOKUP function. So in our Excel workbooks, we can insert this VLOOKUP function by doing equal sign VLOOKUP. See, the VLOOKUP will appear. So in this syntax, I'll be having these variables of ours, whereby you're talking about lookup value. Actually, let me explain all these variables even before we look at it. We're having these variables, which are always very key, where amongst the variables that you're talking about, you're seeing, we're having the lookup value, lookup value, lookup value. So in a very simple term, when we are talking about lookup value, my good students, this is the value to search for. The value to search, the value to search for. Okay? Then when we are talking about the other item, what we normally refer to as the table array. Table array, it is important for us to understand that the table array in this context of VLOOKUP is simply the range of cells that contains the data. The range of cells that contains the data. You see? The other item to talk about here, we normally tend to talk about what? Column index number. The column index number. You see? For column index number, we are talking about the column number in the table array from which we want to retrieve the value. The column number in the table array, right? From which to retrieve the value. From which to retrieve the value. You see? From which to retrieve the value. Then the other item you're having is the range lookup. Another syntax to consider is the range lookup. See? So for range lookup, we normally tend to talk about, these are simply now, these are an item that specify whether we want exact match or an approximate. So you'll find that in this case, a range that specifies whether you want an exact match or approximate. You see? So these variables are always very key in the event that you are considering the VLOOKUP function. These variables are always very key in the event that you're considering the VLOOKUP function. And the knowledge that you're getting here, my good students will find that it is very important because in this case, we're looking at it on a very practical perspective. Not only for the side of exams purposes only, but rather something that will help us a lot also in future and in practice. Something that will help us a lot in future and in practice. So this is very important to consider. So once we have that, then consider this item. We want our VLOOKUP tab. What do we want to search? I want to search for shakes. This is the lookup. You see in our syntax here, I'm having the lookup value. What do we want to search? We want to search the shakes. Comma. From where? From where? From our range of cells that contains the data that we are looking at. The range of cells, that data, comma. What are we looking for? I want to look for double. This is a double. I want to look for double, the price of double. Double, it is in which column index? Column index number, the column number in the table array from which we want to retrieve our value. We want to retrieve the value of double. Double, it is column index number what? We start to count from 1, 2, 3. So it is column index number 3, comma. What do we want? We want an exact match. See? We want an exact match. The range lookup here. The range lookup, it specifies whether you want an exact match or approximate. For us, we want exact match. So I click the exact match. Then we enter. You see, it will give us that specific item that you're looking at. You see, it's giving us the value here. And make sure all of us, we're achieving the same results. You see, it is giving us that item that we are looking at, double. I need shakes. I need the price of shake, which is double. You see, it is giving us the value of 850 there. I need someone with a question where you have not gotten the concept right. Mwalimu will repeat this again. Where you feel you've not understood it right.
Please repeat again.
So we do this again.
Yeah.
So you've said that at this point, you say that we want to look at the value in terms of the aspect of I want shakes and double. I want shakes and the size is this double that you're looking at. So you're saying that at this point, we follow this syntax that we're having, where we do equal sign. We are looking at VLOOKUP function. So VLOOKUP, we click tab. Lookup value. What do we want to search? We want to search shakes. So I select the shakes there. Comma. From where? From this table. That is a table array. From this table. What are we looking at? We want to look at double. So, comma, I want to look at size double. What is the column index number? The column number in the table array from which to retrieve the value. I want to retrieve this value from double. Double, it is column number. We start counting from our first set column, which is column 1, column 2, column 3. So double, it is column 3. I type there 3. Comma, the range lookup. For range lookup, in this case, we've said we're having two options. Either approximate almost to that, and we have exactly that item that you're looking at. For us, we want an exact match. We want an exact match. So exact match, it is this part 2 here. So you just double click there. See, I pick that one. So in that case, we just do what? We just do enter. So it will give us the price of shakes and the size is double. The price of shakes and the size is double. Are we on the same page?
Yes, we are on the same page, Mwalimu.
Good. Now, I want someone to give Mwalimu then, what if I want the price of coffee, size medium, and also I'll want the price of a fruit juice, size should be single. Try to give Mwalimu the two. Try to give Mwalimu the two. Try to give Mwalimu the two. Hmm?
Mwalimu, for the coffee medium, we have 150. And the fruit juice single, we have 300.
Achieving that with the VLOOKUP, right?
Yes.
Let's make sure that we are achieving the same.
Mwalimu, can I ask you a question as we wait for the others?
Yes, kindly you can go ahead and ask the question.
But forgive me, it's a little bit unrelated, but it's still on Excel. So today I was having a challenge with someone. We were like trying to put the university grades on an Excel, and we were using the function if. So we were like, we are going to tell the Excel if it's 70 to 100, Excel should write first class. If it's between 60 to it's usually between 60 to 70, that is second class upper. 50 to second class low, and then 40 to 50, that should be passed. But we were unable to like give a command to the Excel. Maybe you can give me some little bit of guidance as we wait for the others, kind of.
Sure, that is okay. So basically, what was the function that you're using was if, right?
Yes, we even attempted some ifs, but I don't think we did not succeed us.
Not really. So some if won't work on that. So you'll find that at this point, maybe you are talking of. I wish I could be having the data here. So maybe assuming you are looking at a scenario, it is like when it is take a good, which one would be much simpler?
Or maybe you can give it. Maybe you can give it 80 to 100. That's an A. 70 to 80. That's I think an A minus. Like that, maybe. But even you can even do for like 3 cases only, but it would be enough guidance.
You're saying that at this point, look at this simple scenario. At what point will you tax a company if it is more than 0, right?
Yes.
For example, maybe you're having, maybe I'm talking of this case, like this company, maybe company is the same concept, maybe company X. So for company X, maybe you're having this scenario, like I'm having it like for example, sales. For example, sales maybe is 2 million. Maybe you're talking about cost of sales. Maybe you are having, say, like 1 million, for example. This is just a simple bit. So talk of this. Then I'm having, say, like other operating expenses. Talk about operating expenses, for example, here. Very simple bit, maybe 500,000. Maybe you can have another bit like these are our profit, which is simply gross profit minus operating. Then you're having your tax. Tax rate is 30%. Just an example here, 0.3. I don't know if but let's just try. I think this should work with the same concept. So on the same case, ideally, tax will always be charged on the profit. What if your profit is zero? Will you be having any tax?
No.
You won't be having any tax, right? So this is your point, like you are stating, or you can share a sample of the data we try, because I think so this one I think we can explain. Let's just try with this, if at all you can be able to understand. So I'm having it in this manner. If I need to command to Excel and tell Excel that if at any given point this value is 0, or rather is less than 0, then it should not, the tax rate should be what? The tax rate should apply, or rather this value here should be 0. So in this case, I can have like I need to put if function. If function, that is what you're using. So our logical test. Our logical test, in your case, your logical test was you're saying the marks, right?
Yeah. I was assuming that we have a list of students. Maybe one got 70, another one got 40, another one got 57. So you're like just telling Excel, give me which category this one belongs. Who belongs to first class? Who belongs to second upper? Who belongs to second lower? And who belongs to pass?
So that is your logical test, right?
Yes.
So in your case, that would be your logical test. So in this case, you want to command Excel and tell us that if this logical test, if my logical test at that point, if at any given point that is, of course, equal to, if my logical test, in that case, if our logical test is less than 0, it's less than 0. If our logical test is less than 0. If our logical test is less than 0, then if that is true, then my value here should be 0. My value here should be 0. If it is not, or if it is more than 0, that is meaning that if it is more than 0, that is false. So our value should be multiplied by the rate of 30%. So that is the case that we are looking at in this case, right? So that is the case that we are looking at in this case. Like in this case, it has picked L13. So let us assume, just an assumption. So if my logical test, which was this, assuming this is negative. So negative, maybe we can take this to be 500,000. You see, it will give me my value to be 0. It won't calculate because you can't tax negative. At any given point, if that value maybe is more than the 0, take 1.2. Again, you find that this value is negative, meaning that it's more than 0. Then in that case, it won't multiply. So in that case, actually, we should have taken we should have taken the profit here. This is the profit that you're looking at, because if that profit is less than 0, then this is a profit that you're looking at there. So in the event that we go to 1.4, again, you'll find that it will just give us 0. If at all we pick, if more than, assuming I'm having 2.1, you see now it will compute my tax automatically. So your case, in this case, you're having a range between 30% to you're having?
You can have these students. You can have like 3 students. One got 45.
45%.
Another one got 57.
57.
And the other one got, let's say, 82.
82.
And now
80.
you and now the range between 40 to 50, that one is usually a pass. Between 50 to 60, that's usually second class lower. Between 61 between 60 to 70, second class upper, and then above 70 is first class.
In this case, we're having pass. We're having second class
upper.
Then we're having second class upper.
You can even give it second upper, you know.
So you'll find that our logical test, in this case, we should be having ifs, because I'm having more than one variable. You see? So ifs, in this case, I'm not going to use if. You're going to use ifs because we're having more than one variable. So logical test 1, if at all my logical test here, we are looking at that value. Or rather, if the value between 40, in this case, what are the students? You're having the names, you should be having the candidates, right? So that you pick each and every person. Or what you do, just share with me the sample of whatever that you're having so that you can do it together, okay? Actually, this I can show you in class, all of us, the concept of ifs, so that you should not also take the other time. Is that okay?
Thank you.
Yeah, just share the value, but I'm not sure if this has explained the concept of if or the logical test, whatever that you've done here, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so maybe we'll just share, then you can look at it together. Okay, because like we should have all the variables. Once you have all the variables, you can easily work it out. And it will always tend to, you can also put a logical to a point that you can do the color. Say if it is less than this, it is going to give you color red. If it is more than this, it's going to give you color green. You can customize it to that point.
All right. Let's first proceed with the VLOOKUP first now.
Sure, that is okay. Okay?
Yes.
Great. So once we have this, where we are looking at this lookup. So at this point, the rest, are we achieving the same results? Sorry for that. Are we achieving the same results? Where for coffee, you look at what you're doing. Talk about coffee, equal sign, right? VLOOKUP, tab. The lookup value is coffee. Our table array will not change. Our column index number, we are looking at, of course, coffee medium. That is 1, 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm having 4. I want exact match, which you can have, of course, that is 0. So you'll find that it will give us what? 150. This is what you're having. The other item you're looking at, fruit juice, single. So I can just use the same syntax, talk about VLOOKUP. Lookup array is the fruit juice that you're looking at. Our table array, these are table array. Index column is single, so it is column number 1, 2, comma. I want exact match. Exact match is like 0. Approximate is like 1. So exact match, I just have 0. See, it's giving us the results here. So this is a VLOOKUP, how you can maneuver through the VLOOKUP function, how you can maneuver through the VLOOKUP function, how you can maneuver through the VLOOKUP function. So once you're able to understand that, I want us to attempt this bit before we close class. There's this, let me share this in our group. I want to share this in our group. I want to share this in our group. I want us to see what we can achieve. I want to see what you can achieve. I want to see what you guys can achieve. There's that document that I've shared in the group. There's that document that I've shared in the group. So this is a document that I've shared in the group. I want you guys to give me probably the sales amount, about sales amount, commission received, that maybe in this case that the following sales person made. Where we are talking about, we pick this salesperson in random. Pick these salespersons in random. So I want us to use VLOOKUP and give me the sales, the commission that these salespersons received using VLOOKUP. Using VLOOKUP. Using VLOOKUP. Using VLOOKUP. Let me see what you can do. Let me see what you can achieve. That should not take us more than 5 minutes. Quickly.
Nanye nandiza kumenya ndate watu tumenya tino ndiza hiyo kampuni ndo ngeve yani ingine ikyalo akwa ndate no ikiwa kwa thank you.
Mwalimu, I only have for Ivan Hines.
I want us to do for the rest. We see what we have.
Mwalimu, I am done.
You're done?
Yes.
Okay. So let us see what you are achieving.
First of all, we have Jordan Boone repeated twice. I hope you took note of that.
Oh, okay.
So I'll give for Ivan Hines, Jordan Boone, and Franklin, right? And then I have a formatting for three decimal places. I don't know if maybe I should just round it off to 0 decimal places.
That is okay.
The 3 decimal places are okay.
If at all you presented in that case, that is still okay, depending, but at many times have it into either 2 decimal places because these are currency, right?
All right. So so with the 3 decimal places, I have Ivan Hines has a sale of 9181.745.
91
81.745.
0.745.
Yes.
So
And
that if our values were in whole figures, right? So if you put it in whole figure, that would be 9182.
Yes. Let me just convert
into whole figures.
9182. Then 1836 on the commission.
1836.
Yes, on the commission. Then Jordan Boone has 2446. And then 489 on the commission.
489. Okay.
Yes, and then Franklin Wright has 4334. And then 867 on the commission.
Okay, that is what Amos is getting. Alan, what are you getting?
Yes, Mwalimu, I'm also getting the same figure. So for Ivan is 9182 sales, then Jordan 2446, Franklin 4334, and Bone 2446. And for commission, Ivan is 1836, Jordan 2093, Franklin 867, then Boone 489.
Okay. Diana, your values are the same? Diana? Elizabeth? Yes, Diana? Same?
Excuse me, I'm following on the phone. I was not able to do it. I don't have much right now.
What you're saying?
I'm just following.
Oh, you're following with the phone. Oh, okay. But make sure you also after class, make sure you also try it in practice. Okay.
Sure.
Great. Elizabeth, are you on the same page? Janet, are you on the same page?
Yes, we are. Yes, I am. Sorry.
Great. Karanja, are we on the same page?
Yes, we are, Molly.
Great. Monica?
Yes, we are.
Great. I believe Elizabeth is also on the same page. Elizabeth, ameenda kula supper. So in this case, you'll find that the whole concept will just be the same. Like we take the salesperson, maybe we are starting with this salesperson whom we've said maybe Ivan, which you've taken in random. So on this case, the same case will apply. We just do the VLOOKUP. Lookup value, you want to look at, of course, Ivan. From where? From this table set. Yeah. So we just highlight, Control-Shift down to give us the whole set, comma. Column index for sales amount is 1, 2, 3, 4. Column number 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that is 4, comma. I need exact match, which is 0. Then, of course, we have it into, of course, 2 or aspect of whole values. So whole values, of course, here, we need this in whole values. So once I'm done with that, of course, I can simply pick the same data here. Not I copy the same data here. So this time round, of course, I'll just edit the first segment, which will be that. And the range here, or let me show you this shortcut. We lock, let us lock the range. We lock the range, the 4. I can also lock the salesperson data. The 4. So that if I copy paste here, all I need to change is simply the column, which should be 5, and we have our data there. So I wouldn't wish to repeat all this procedure all through. All we can do is to insert, of course, we come to data. Yeah, I want us, of course, to insert our list here, right? So that should be our list. So that if at all I'll be changing the name, it just be picking. So my source drop-down list, that is what you are inserting. So this will make my work easier. In the event that maybe I want, say, like Jordan, I just come and select Jordan, that is Jordan Boone, you see? You just be changing our data. I need Franklin, I'll come change Franklin, you see? Whichever person that now I need David, is just giving us this set. Is giving us this set. See? You insert your drop-down list. You can select any salesperson that you want, and you get the results. Whereby if you get your results, of course, you can pick it somewhere, you copy, paste, value. See? You can have all your cells like that, as simple as that. So inserting drop-down list, maybe I've gone that fast. Let me repeat again. Where you're having a lot of this set, remember, you can't be doing one by one. So the best way to do is to insert the drop-down list. So we can simply come to, after highlighting where you want, this is the salesperson, you come to your data, okay? You come to data validation here, okay? You come to data validation. You select, on this drop, you select list. You come select your list. Because whatever that you want a drop-down list. We want a drop-down list. So once we've selected a drop-down list, I come do what? I come select our range. That is our salesperson's range. Because I need salespersons, so you just select the whole of salespersons, all through. Then you click OK. Then you click OK. Then you click OK. So once you've clicked OK, you'll see that this drop-down list will appear. So that on this case, I'll just be picking whoever that I want. the set data I'm having, I put it where I want. I pick whoever that I want, I place it where I want it to be. See? The drop-down list, the drop-down list, the drop-down list, the drop-down list. So this is the first case of VLOOKUP. VLOOKUP. On this case, tomorrow we can look at a case whereby we are combining now VLOOKUP. We'll be combining the VLOOKUP function and whatever that we did for pivot table, so that you see how these tools are always very powerful. Also, tomorrow you can look at HLOOKUP. Tomorrow you can also talk about HLOOKUP. Tomorrow you can also talk about I know it's a holiday, but almost requesting that we just meet. No, unless there's one who is traveling, almost requesting that we meet tomorrow. Yeah, so that's it. Amos, make sure that you share that sample. We'll check it out, of course, so that also the rest can learn. Is that okay?
Yes, okay, Mwalimu.
Okay, great. So you guys have a good night. See you then. Bye-bye.